From the Philippines and to the rest of the world, welcome to Get Started TV's Crunch Time. And I am your host, Josh, and it's a very special episode today. We have a very special guest who actually is the reason why I jumped on screen right now to be hosting this episode today. Well, she has started a lot of startups and has a lot of important information that she can share to the audiences today. With no further ado, I'd like to welcome our guest for today. We have Charmy Torres, and to tell us more about Charmy's story and how it would help you get started, let's welcome here on the show. Welcome, Charmy.
Thank you, Joshua. It's an absolute pleasure to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
Yes, and we are so honored to have you because like when I was told that you'll be guesting and I saw your profile, I was very excited because it actually would have it would give a lot of our audiences some information how to get started. And while reading at it, I was very interested to share this to them. And I want you to actually share us a story about your experience. So how and when did you get started with your career in this path, being a business owner at the same time, helping freelancers? So tell us more about it, Charmy.
Sure. So nag-umpisa ako back in 2018 when I was still in the UK. So you've probably heard about virtual offices, right? So
Mm-hmm.
we provide UK business owners with all the benefits of a commercial space, like let's say an office phone number, a mailing address, administrative services, meeting rooms without the physical office.
So pretty much you're helping them establish their workforce without the need of all the infrastructure requirements or real estate requirements. That's really good. And when you started this, like, were you pretty much alone in the UK doing it on your own as a startup?
Oh yes, I did. It just started with an idea, really and truly. It's just me just taking the leap. That's how I started basically. I just jumped.
When that idea came up, you just immediately started it.
Well, not straight away. I was having doubts with myself, of
Hmm.
course, but then here I am. I took the leap. That's why I'm here.
So for a lot of our audiences who may be wondering how difficult it would take to do something like what you did, so to give us a little background about your previous experience, just to also give them an idea of where they should be from, where they are at, if it's good enough for them to go elsewhere in making changes with their career, with their pathway. Tell us more about your background. Where were you a few years back before starting your own company?
Sure. I was in the manufacturing industry producing high-end electronic cigarettes. That was back in 2015 after I graduated in the university back in the UK. And then I would say both businesses led me to two different unknown paths, demanded a different level of me. I'm sure you've heard about this. Growth and comfort doesn't coexist, right? And so it's
Exactly.
just like learning to be comfortable, being uncomfortable. You welcome risk, you welcome challenge, you welcome uncertainty because
Mm-hmm.
you come out better on the other side. And that is growth. Is a very painful stage. You grow by, having this painful process in your life.
So that's really good. I mean, that's very inspiring. Like when there's comfort, not necessarily there will be growth. And when there's growth, it doesn't necessarily mean comfort all the time. And
Mm-hmm.
when you started there, uh, like being in the UK, like were you all throughout your college studies, were you in the UK all throughout, making it a lot easier for you to join into that or go into that adventure?
No, not at all. It's no easy ride, As I've mentioned earlier, I started from the scratch. I don't have any connections at all. I don't know where to go. I've purchased a lot of online courses, looking for people to help me. It's not an easy path. It's not an easy road to take.
And for those well, taking it from the cue that it wasn't an easy path for you, and it wasn't definitely an easy road to take. You mentioned about taking online courses, and there's a lot of these online courses available for the audience who are interested. Maybe from this conversation that we're having, they may have an idea that, okay, if Charmy was able to do it, make it big in the UK with doing her own startup, I too may be able to do it on my own. Online courses, is it expensive? Is it difficult to find, like, these resources? In your case, was it that difficult, or what are your tips and advice for them if they would like to go that route as well?
Sure. Let me just correct you quickly, Joshua. I'm not big in the UK yet. So I'm still on the beginning part of my business. But yes, in regards to the online courses, yes, you could purchase them in through the internet. You could look for them if they're the right fit course for you, or you could just go YouTube. It's for free. In even Bill Gates, I believe he has free courses online as well.
So free courses online. You mentioned about YouTube.
Mm-hmm. Well, apart from courses as well, I would also suggest, meeting people, meeting like-minded people who want to who wants to reach their higher self, or who wants to reach their fullest potential. I would also suggest joining groups, even in Facebook, they're for free. And then look for mentors that could help you.
And you mentioned about, let's say, resources such as YouTube. There are videos from Bill Gates. These are very much good resources for our audiences. Were you pretty much guided by yourself? Like, was there guidance from a mentor who helped you go to the right path, go to the right videos, or were you pretty much on your own searching for the right video courses?
Running a business, or starting a business, is a process. After purchasing all these online courses, reading books, I even considered, learning how to milk a cow, just to get all the unanswered questions for me, like, how do I get this started? How do I get on the market? How do I make noise? And so what I did is I prayed for a mentor. And I was very fortunate to receive a face-to-face training from these two phenomenal leaders from California. They run a multi-million-dollar company in San Francisco, and I worked for them for a year last year. And also, for some reason, Joshua, I always have mentors along the way on every stage of my business. And now, at the moment, I have a mentor from the UK, a business mentor who's helping me as well. And I'm always thankful. I cross paths with these people, and I think they were God sent to me.
Well, that's really good and very inspiring, because a lot of our audiences who are very well interested and excited to start their own but don't know where to go. The key there is to find someone. As in your experience, you were able to find a mentor. And
True.
really good to hear that all the time you get to find one. Does it come with a network that you build, or would you advise them to continually build their network, because that's I guess where you found your mentors?
I would say, like, having a mentor that doesn't mean that you have to see them face to face. You could read a book, and you could say, let's say Robert Kiyosaki, you read his book. You could say he's a mentor because you follow what he says, basically. And and I would say here in the Philippines, to be honest with you, it was really hard for me to look for a mentor. And I would just pray for it. I think this is the miracles behind it. God would always answer your questions. And hence, this is the reason why I have mentors. I believe in that.
Well, definitely, and it's really good. Like, the universe arranges itself to give you the
True.
mentor helping you
Correct.
and who helped you. Well, that's really good. And I guess a key message that I got there was for our audience to just continually read books, read resources, find the best resource. In your case, mentioning Robert Kiyosaki, a lot of them would be familiar with Robert Kiyosaki. And was it like an easy, let's say, a quick uh, rise from when you started? Like, how many years did it take you to be able to establish, like, where you are at right now. I said earlier big, but definitely, well, to me, being able to come up and rise up from where you were and where you are at right now is you making it big in your own little ways. But in your case, to share to the audience, how long did it take? Maybe some may be impatient,
Mm-hmm.
maybe thinking that I should start this week and next month I should already start seeing the results.
Not at all. It wasn't an easy ride, as I've mentioned earlier. I think for my first year, I only had one client that I really took care of. I think my business started blooming, let's say 18 months after I've started it. And as I've mentioned earlier, it's not an easy road to take. I only had one client for a year, but I was there believing in myself, believing this is, this business, it will work in the future. And just wait for it, you know, learn how, work on yourself, learn skills whilst waiting for this client. I'm sure when you get this client coming, you'll be raising your two hands yourself because of it's as I mentioned, I think I'm on a different path now, or I'm on a different process or stage of my business.
I guess no one else would be the first believer in you than yourself, right?
That's
Who
right.
want to wants to follow
Mm-hmm.
you, and in that path is to believe in themselves
Mm-hmm.
and in your journey, going through all those. Was there a time, a time where you were at your lowest, and maybe you thought of, okay, I might just want to quit and do something else? Was there a point in time where you felt that?
Definitely, yes. One of the most pivotal part of my life, when because I've done few projects on different countries, I receive praises, comments. All of these are just trials of your growth. All of these are just white noise. And, you can't know how to deal with success. You can't know how to deal with failures. And you can't know how to deal with the bumps in the road. You just have to have a taste of everything. And when you have that bitter taste in your mouth, what do, Joshua? You spit it out, right?
Find some.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the end, I learned to just let go. You never let someone define you, only you can define yourself. And if your friends are not happy with the business you started, or having a great job, or, you just want to reach your fullest potential, if they're not happy, change your circles, find like minded people, and life will be so much easier.
Well, I love that. Did it
Mm-hmm.
so in your case, you said that changing your circle, finding the right people would also help you go to the right path. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
did did it actually cost you so much of, let's say, effort in making connections, new connections, at the same time trying to stay away from those connections who might have just given you some negativity in
Mm-hmm.
thoughts before?
when
Mm-hmm.
when I made the decision, I just cut ties, like no turning back. And so,
Mm-hmm.
looking for the right people, how many billions of people are there in the world, you know, and you will find that person, you will find that like-minded people, and you'd appreciate them more, because and at the end, you know your value as well.
All right. So being in your experience, well, in your experience, you've had a lot of those ups and downs, and basically, you probably have reached your lowest point in the past. And our audience may be interested, Charmy, if they are now at their lowest, they have probably decided to start doing their own business, and they've reached their lowest point, and maybe thinking of quitting. What would be your advice to help them continue? They may have already heard about picking themselves up, continually bounce back. They may have heard a lot of those cliche, let's say, words of encouragement. And in your experience, what works for you, maybe that may work for them as well, when it comes to continuing even at your lowest, when you have experienced a lot of your of these failures?
If I could give only one advice based from my experience as well, is to find your purpose. starting a business, changing career, or reaching your fullest potential is a journey itself. It's a never-ending journey. And you having a purpose in life, this purpose will serve as your compass and you will never get lost.
As long as you know your direction. As long as you know your purpose. Well, that's really good. And for the audience, well, you should know your purpose so that it will be your compass that would anchor you to where you will be.
When
even
the going gets tough, when the going gets tough, you just remind yourself of what is your purpose? Why are you doing this? You pick yourself again and get the ball rolling, basically.
And the top get going.
Mm-hmm.
And only losers quit. That's what I really believe in.
Correct.
And I also believe in that.
Mm-hmm.
It's really good. Well, thank you for that. And maybe at this point, they may be wondering, what business are we talking about? Like, I actually have already done my business. I'm on this one. And this conversation with Charmy and Josh, what are they talking about? Tell me about the business that you are in. What services do you provide? So that they may just have an idea on how you were able to start this in the UK and what type of services your company provides.
Yes, sure. At first, I started as a virtual accountant, so I do outsourcing. I normally speak to business owners, offering outsourcing. I started first with accountant, since I'm an accountant. So I did first with an accountant, and then I move up with executive assistant, and then it goes to web designing, marketing. That's how I started, basically. Just, outsource work from the UK and then find personal or employees from here in the Philippines that could provide that kind of service.
Wow. So you were evolving as you moved into different, let's say, skills.
That's right. Yes.
Adding more skills to your portfolio. That's really good. And for you out there tuned in today and listening to this Get Started Crunch Time episode, you may be doing something right now which would be a pathway for you to start your own business, same as what Charmy has started and is doing right now. And at this point, you may be interested to know some really good tips on how to get started. And at this point, we are now going to be talking about our 5-minute nugget, or our golden nugget, here at Crunch Time at Get Started TV. So, Charmy, thank you so much. Very, very useful information that we heard, and very encouraging based from your experience. And at this point, I'll give you the floor to share our golden nugget for today.
Thank you. All right. I'm just going to give 5 pointers, and then I will leave it to the audience on how they would interpret this. So the first one is, as I've mentioned earlier, is the find your purpose, and then work on yourself, learn a skill, and then express your ideas, and then face your fears. And the last one is TikTok. Have fun.
That's really good. So definitely very good. It's not a 5-minute golden nugget, but those were very useful tips. Thank you, Charmy, for sharing that. And for you out there, very interested to follow the path, or may not necessarily follow Charmy's path, but wants to create your own path. Be bold in your career change. Here at Get Started TV, we just heard it from Charmy, which is a very special guest for today. Thank you so much for gracing us here in our episode and for squeezing in crunch time in your very busy schedule. Thank you. We truly appreciate it, Charmy. Thank you so much.
Thank you as well, Joshua. Thank you. It's an absolute pleasure to be here.
All right. So very useful information, tips, and techniques. Here at Get Started TV's Crunch Time, we want to give you the best information in every episode. So tune in and watch out for our next episodes here at Get Started TV's Crunch Time. Thank you so much and have a blessed day.